Good morning and welcome to another pre-market review session from the Market Trader. My name is Ray, the Market Trader. And before we get started, we'll need to review our risk disclosure. So we'll go ahead and do that. So go ahead and share my screen here. I'm just going to pause here for a moment to make sure that it's visible to everyone. Okay, so yeah, just want to remind everyone that the content that's being published and distributed by the Market Trader and its affiliates is to be treated as general information only. None of the information provided by the company or contained herein is intended as investment advice or an offer to buy, sell, recommend, endorse, sponsor any security, company, future instrument, or fund. We all understand that the use of this information contained herein is to be used at your own risk, and the company, its partners, representatives, agents, employees, contractors assume no responsibility or liability for any use or misuse of such information. Future trading does carry a fair amount of risk. It's not for every investor. Investor could potentially lose all or more of their investment capital. Only risk capital money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle should be used for trading, and only those individuals with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Again, nothing contained herein is intended as a solicitation or an offer to buy, sell futures, options, or forex, and past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so now that we've gotten through the risk disclosure here, guys, we'll go ahead and turn our attention to the news portal here. All right, so we'll go ahead and look at that. News we have in store that could potentially impact the markets. So I would say that we have a fair amount of news today. We have the ADP employment, PMI, ISM, PMI. We have construction spending, and then for those crude oil traders, we have the EIA report. Okay, we have some actually maybe lesser kind of news events later in the morning, but I would say between now and up until about 10:30 Eastern time, we have a fair amount of news in the market that's coming into the markets. Okay, so with that now in mind, okay, we'll go ahead and turn our attention to our charting platform. All right, we're going to go ahead and see what kind of context. Morning, Dirk. We're going to see what kind of context we can get in the markets to support us in in our trade executions here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off here with the gold market. Okay, and then kind of move our way over to the other markets here. All right, so let's move to the gold. All right, there's our gold. We're going to go ahead and start with the daily chart. Okay, daily chart again. It looks like we had so a little bit of a whip here. Okay, maybe as a result of the news. Okay, we had a relatively wide range here for the day. But nonetheless, it still created or in the process of opening with a new high, opened with a gap. We filled that gap as a result of the news, and again, with a fair amount of support here coming from the bullish side. Okay, so nothing on the daily chart is indicating to me any sort of necessarily any sort of slowness to the upside move. All right, so yeah, daily continues to look rather bullish. Looking at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart again. We're going to go ahead and turn off the initial balance here for a moment. We'll look at that when we look at the 30-minute chart. But you can see here that we still have a fair amount of bullish action. Okay, here. Okay, so you can see here that the bulls are still very much, I would say, in control. Okay, we had a relative. Oh, I got a replay going here. Let's turn that off. Okay, so again, we continue with our march to the upside. We had some sort of event here that caused the gold to sell off, but since that time, we continue to kind of grind higher and actually broke some structure here to the upside. Okay, so we made a new high. We're retesting those highs as we speak. So the question now becomes that is this going to serve this 38, let's say 3,900 Okay, 3,900. Is that going to serve as some level of support going forward? Okay, now that we're above it, are we able to maintain above it? Okay, so let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Let's see what kind of context we can get on the 30-minute chart. All right, we're going to go ahead and start off with our fixed range volume profile here and take a look and see what the fixed range volume profile has to offer in the way of insight here. So let's see, this fixed range volume profile. We're going to start with Tuesday, right? We're going to drag that across to the close of Tuesday. All right. And yeah, so here we are. So you can see that we're above value. So again, this area here around 3,900, the assumption is that that's going to be an area that's going to act as some sort of level of support. You can see that we've gotten a fair amount of interest here, right? We got a lot of transactions that took place around that 3,990, 3,900 level. Okay, now we're above that level, and this level 3,890 could serve as maybe a supportive level here going forward. Okay, so a visible range as well as our fixed range is indicating the same kind of relative area here. Okay, so we're currently below our 9 EMA, and I guess right now hovering on our VWAP. Is going to be important for me to kind of remain sort of with the sentiment of bullish for price to remain above, let's say 3,900. Okay, 3,900. I guess is kind of the line in the sand here, at least on the shorter time frame, that we need to continue to hold in order to continue to hold this kind of bullish kind of stance that we've had of gold of late here. Okay, all right. Yeah. So again, we had a push on the outside here. I'm gonna mark another level that I'm seeing here. So we're gonna create a little trend line here. Right. Yeah. So again, kind of taking us right around the same level here, right? So that 3,900 level, okay, that level right here was a level of some prior resistance. Now there's the potential that this level could serve as some sort of level of support here. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at the initial balance. Let's take a look and see what the other markets were able to do with this market. All right, we'll start off with the Asia session, or actually Tokyo session. All right, so you can see Tokyo was able to relatively strong. Actually, this is probably more London than Tokyo, but nonetheless, on the tail end of the Asia session, we managed to break above the initial balance range and create really a nice extension of the initial balance range. Looks like almost 300 to 350% of this initial range. Okay, so I would say some relatively strong buyers that came in this market. Now, as we've entered, oh, this is, yeah. So let's move this to London and see. All right, take a look at London here. All right, so London, you can see that we've broken above to the upside. Didn't quite get to the 100% extension before we found some sellers. Now we're up against the a nice area here, I would say. As long as price remains above VWAP, then maybe this provides maybe a location, maybe for an execution. Okay, so again, I'm going to go ahead and draw my little channel here, and if I can get price to close above the 9 EMA and also above this initial balance range during London, maybe that offers me an extension up here to the upside, that up to maybe the 100% and ultimately up to this 200% extension here up at 3,950. All right. So nothing right now that I would say kind of stands in the way of this kind of bullish move. I'm kind of treating this kind of the current bearish move that we're seeing right now as more of a little bit of a pullback. Okay. Yeah. First wick was probably the wick got us up to maybe close to the 200%, but then it came back inside range and then it stayed in range until we got to the London session. But yes, it was a little bit wild. Okay. But so in any case, right now, as we look at this, I would say, again, as long as we stay above VWAP, okay, then there's always a possibility that we can continue this march that that London has made at the start of London. We had a series of 30-minute candles, an hour and a half of bullish kind of price action. So now the question is, assuming that these are relatively big participants to move the market this way, the assumption is that maybe they just pull back to add to their position. All right. So this area here, I would if I look at this from a Fibonacci perspective, it looks to me like maybe it came back down to the 50% level. Yeah, exactly. 50% extent, 50% retracement here, right? It's come back down to the 50% retracement. So it'll be interesting to see if this current candle holds. Okay. If it does hold, then maybe we get again, I have the channel. I have a reference level that would support maybe a bullish trade. But I need evidence of it, right? I need one last piece of information here to support that trade, right? Right now, I understand that I am in a bearish channel, but I also understand that over the overall market, the overall gold market remains bullish, right? So we'll have to wait and see how this current candle closes, whether it remains above VWAP or maybe actually takes a peak here below the market. At which point, maybe if we do get below the VWAP, that will give maybe a little bit more evidence that maybe we'll come back and retest some of these, since it hasn't been tested yet, maybe we come back and test the conviction of these buyers here. Okay, that would not be unrealistic here. So anywhere in this area, I think would offer us maybe a location to support. The more we come into this, the less strength I would say that the buyers have. Okay, the higher we stay inside the swing, the more bullish the market is. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. I would say to the other markets here. So right now, I would say that I do remain somewhat bullish in the gold market. I am seeing some evidence, right, at least on the shorter time frame, that maybe it wants to rotate down to the other side of the range. That's a possibility. We did get a close. We did get a close inside the initial balance range. So if you believe what James Dalton says, there's I don't know, I think at one point he said that there was an 80% chance if you get a 30-minute candle to close back inside the initial balance range, there's an 80% opportunity for price to rotate through the entire range, right? So we'll have to see how this closes. I would need to see if we do indeed close below VWAP, then maybe that will come to fruition here. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the crude oil market. We'll take a look at crude. All right, crude oil continues to be in some sort of sell kind of mode here. Okay, let's take a look at the daily. All right, so we're at a level of importance. Actually, technically, we're below it. All right, we're peaking below some important daily levels. Okay, so a level that we've been at a number of times here. Right, we got this level 62. 62 again. This is the, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th time we've tested this area. Well, at some point, we're going to run out of buyers here, right? At some point, we're going to run out of buyers, and the market is going to break this range. Right now, we're at 61.82, which is technically below, obviously, 62. We do have EIA today, so that could either accelerate potentially this move lower, depending on if we have maybe a little considered an excess of supply of oil, which I find hard to believe given all the turmoil. But again, I can't trade the fundamentals. I can only trade what the chart is telling me. And right now, there seems to be a lot of pressure here to the downside. If we end up breaking this daily level, that could accelerate a move, probably as low as 60 for sure, and maybe ultimately down to 56. Okay, so again, a lot of downside pressure in the crude oil market at the moment. All right, so let's take a look at the 4-hour. 4-hour is really not telling us all that much difference other than more candles here. We are definitely inside some sort of bearish structure here in this market. Every attempt that the bulls have made to kind of maybe recoup or maybe turn this market has been met with more selling. Again, remaining below 62 or 61.90 is going to be significant, because again, I think it would indicate that there is a break of support, and that break of support could cause more participants to come in both directions, right? So, buyers looking for maybe cheap buys, and sellers thinking that maybe this is the beginning of maybe an even more significant leg lower. All right. So 4 hours really not telling us all that much different. We are on the outside of the value range, indicating that there are people who are willing to pay a premium for it to be a part of this move to the downside. We are seeing some I guess, relatively heavy buying going on right now, right, to kind of prop this market up. But I can't say that they're overly successful in keeping this up. Okay, a lot of you see the selling wick. The development of this current candle does not seem to equate having more than 2,500 more buy market orders than sell market orders, and this is the best they could do. So that's still a relatively, whatever buying is going on right now is being absorbed, is basically what it amounts to. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart. Looking at the 30-minute chart again, this looks a little bit more in the way of maybe we're starting to see a level that maybe is being created here by the buyers here. Okay, so this here is indicating that maybe there is some level of support that's taking place here at the moment. Okay, so we'll kind of identify this level here. Again, it's right around that 62 level. All right, again, 62, 61.97 is kind of where we're at right now. We see that price is below our VWAP, below our 9 EMA. In this, on the 30-minute chart, we're seeing more selling, okay, than buying at the moment. Okay, so let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile. I believe I know the answer to this question, but we'll confirm it nonetheless. And we'll take Tuesday's market and we'll drag that across to the close of Tuesday. And you can see that price is below value, indicating that people, again, are willing to pay a premium to be a part of this market here to the downside. If I go ahead and now move over to the initial balance ranges, we're going to take a first look at the Tokyo or Asia session here and see what that market was able to do with this particular instrument. And again, it did take a peak above, didn't get too high before it found some sellers here. Okay, and then into London again. London off. I think I need to change my sleeping pattern, guys. London offered us a nice extension, or at least appears to have offered us a nice extension. Let's take a look. Okay, so looking at London, nice extension to the downside, nice 200% extension to the downside. So a break, three bar reversal pattern from 62.60 all the way down to 61.76. Okay, nice move here to the downside. Okay. Now we've rallied, right? We've rallied back to what? A level of known maybe support here or resistance, back to VWAP, and again found some sellers. Now, technically, we have yet to make a new low. Okay, that's really the only thing the only feather that is in the cap of the buyers at the moment, right? We have not made a new low, right? So we have kind of this kind of candles that we're developing here are not particularly strong on the bearish side, right? We still seem to be in somewhat control here of this bullish candle. I say somewhat because we've pretty much almost traversed the entire candle here at this point. Okay, so the more that we can able to kind of grind through this area without getting some sort of rally, the more likely we could see maybe a move lower, maybe as low as 60, 61 level today. Okay. So yeah, again, we do have EIA we do have EIA today, inventories report. So at the was it 10:30, 9:30 Central, and we'll need to wait and see what the EIA says. But right now, it does appear that it's at least right now, the market seems to be bearish as we enter into that report. Okay. All right. So we're looking pretty good on the likes on the session here. So just gonna maybe one small plug. Yes, London loves crude. Okay. Especially the shorts, especially the bears. Okay. So just a little plug here on the portal here. So I encourage you guys, if you haven't already. I think seems like everybody has hit the like button. So thank you for that. Hit the make a comment or two on the portal on how this analysis is supporting you is always beneficial. And if you're not already getting notified when these sessions are taking place, you can hit the notification bell as well to be notified when I do make myself available for these kind of sessions. And yeah, we also have kind of super chat here. So if you want to leave a little tip to the doorman here to let him know that he's doing a good job, that's also welcome as well. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the NASDAQ here. I know that everybody's anxious and interested in understanding what the NASDAQ is doing. Well, I think we started yesterday's discussion with some discussion that maybe we are moving in some sort of into some sort of consolidation pattern. I don't know about you, but this looks like that we are developing some sort of symmetrical triangle pattern, okay, in this market, kind of flag pattern that we're developing here, indicating that maybe we are in some sort of range in this market. The market is looking to seek maybe some additional information as to which direction they should take this. All right, so daily chart looks rather rangy to me. Okay, moving on to the 4-hour chart. Again, we're going to go ahead and turn off the initial balance range here. Again, you can see that we're getting just a little bit more detail here on the candles. I probably need to adjust this a little bit to the, let's see if I can incorporate as much of these candles as I can. I like the top side, but I'm not sure I like the bottom, and I don't want to go all the way down here. So I'm gonna kind of take this area right here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking to just to fade the market, Aslan, I mean, you can put something you can put a trade on a break of the initial balance. I don't know if I would go that far. I mean, because it doesn't always move into sustained auction, Aslan. But I mean, if you get to the 200% extension, it might not be a bad trade to fade that move. Okay, fade that move away from 200. It's kind of like more of a mean reversion type of trade, if you wanted to think of it that way. But I would obviously maybe create a little bit of a bracket order if I trigger into a trade like that. Then I want to be protected at some point, right? So, but yes, that's possible. Okay, so looking at the daily again, 4-hour chart. Yeah, again on the Nasdaq, you see that we are in some sort of consolidation pattern. Probably in a sort of a little bit of an upswing here on that pattern. Okay, we did reverse away on Monday from the top end of this triangle pattern, and we really haven't been able to get above it. All right, and we're starting to maybe develop a little bit of structure here to the downside. Okay. So, but we are in some sort of range. So we have to kind of temper our expectations on how far these moves can go. All right. So we're going to now take a look at the fixed range volume profile. You can see here on the visible range volume profile that it appears that we are in some sort of range here. We're kind of in the value area for the visible range here on the right. It's kind of my dynamic, being able to look at volume dynamically, price and volume dynamically. Let's take a look at the fixed range volume profile here and see where we are in relation to yesterday's price. And I would have to, it feels like it's inside, and it certainly was. So we did take a peek below. We did take a peek below this market, I guess, during the overnight session, certainly during either Asia or London. Looks like they weren't interested in holding on to any more of NASDAQ, at least temporarily. And we got to a level here, probably to 200% or 100% extension here. and we've rallied ever since. So now price is above, right? Price is above our 9 EMA, above our VWAP. Maybe it's kind of primed. At least, certainly, I don't see any reason why we don't get up to 24,824. That's kind of will serve as kind of a magnet to price. And maybe we get up to the upper end of this triangle pattern that I drew on the higher time frame, right? And that would kind of take us back to the highs here. Okay, so I think reaching this point of control for this visible range value profile does not seem out of the realm of possibilities here. Okay, before we see maybe a little bit of reaction to price, or maybe we just hang out at that level for a bit. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the initial balance range here. We'll take a look at initial balance across the various markets. We'll start off with the Asia market and see what the Asia market was able to do with this market. All right, so we'll take a look here. So you can see here that we broke to the downside, offered a very nice extension, right? Very nice extension to the 200% before we found some buyers. Ever since we've had that extension here to the downside, we've managed to rally. Okay, market has been able to rally. Yes, quite a huge move here on the tail end, actually around London time, right? So we got a move here to the downside. And we got to, I guess, about the 250% extension of this initial balance range for Asia. Okay. Now, during London, let's take a look at the London. Take a look at the London. Either we're inside the range or maybe above it. No, we're above it. Okay. So here we are. Asia was down, and now we see that London has been able to take that back up. A little bit of a cat and mouse game that's going on between sessions. Okay, so right now, price is above some of the indicators that we would normally use to support trades. So again, a nice extension, nice 200% extension of this initial balance range for NASDAQ. Okay, now we're about a half hour away or so from the opening of the market. Are we going to continue to the upside? Right, maybe making a march up to this 24,912 level, certainly possible. And given the kind of price structure that we're seeing right now, it's not out of the realm of possibility here. Okay, as long as we stay above the 9 EMA, above our VWAP, then it's not out of the question that we could see price rally up at least to the highs of yesterday. Okay. All right. So right now, I would say that the market overall, I would say remains in some sort of range. Okay. So I guess if there's some strategies that you have around range, then that we want to deploy those, I would say, in this market, because I do see that a lot of overlap in price. Asia takes the market lower, London takes the market higher. So we'll have to see which direction the New York decides to take it. Is it going to be higher and follow, the path of London, or are they going to take the path of Asia and try to drive price back down to some of the lows? Okay. Right now we're in the middle of the range. Again, this is probably a no trade zone for me until we get to maybe some of the edges of the ranges or some areas of we still have a fair amount of news coming. Yes, it does. Right. So PMI has the potential of moving the markets. I don't know. I can't recall exactly what color. I think it was at least orange. All right. Maybe even red. But yes, the PMI does have the possibility of moving markets. Maybe not as much as, say, FOMC or some sort of interest rate decision, but certainly has that potential. Okay. All right. Let's see. So NASDAQ, I would say right now, I'm gonna call it neutral to bullish. All right, neutral to bullish. All right, I think we have a fair chance to get back up to the highs here, retest the highs of Tuesday. Does not seem out of the realm of possibility here. All right, so I'm going to call it that way, neutral to bullish. Let's take a look at the ES market here and see what the S&P has to say. Again, it has a very similar look and feel here. Again, probably the same triangle pattern that we were drawing in the, well, this has a little bit of a different kind of feel to it, maybe not so much. So again, here's our consolidation pattern. I don't know if this is this kind of pattern or this kind of pattern. We'll go with this kind of pattern. Okay. We'll go with this pattern here. Okay. So you can see that we're in some sort of flag pattern, some sort of consolidation, some sort of range in this market on the daily. All right. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart also indicating, again, just getting more candles in this area. We're going to turn off initial balance here for a moment here, okay, and kind of get a sense for what price is doing. And you can see, again, we are in some sort of range, right? So what's interesting is that we got to the top of the range, but we didn't really get to the other side of the range before we found some buyers. Okay, so I don't know if that's maybe indication that maybe buyers are beginning to step into this market, right? If the expectation is if we are indeed in a range, then we would explore both sides, right? So right now we managed to get to the other side of this triangle pattern. We made another attempt to get to that, and then we did not find. We weren't able to get really to the other side of this range before we found some buyers of this market. So I don't know if that's a bullish indication. We'll have to see as we enter the New York session to see if there's any follow through on that view. Okay, so similar to the Nasdaq, you can see that price is above some of the indicators that we care about, right? The 9 EMA, the VWAP, all giving us indication that maybe there's more to the upside in this market, right? So we're starting to break some structure here, as you can see here on the left-hand side, offering us maybe some indication that maybe there's more to the upside in this market. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the fixed range volume profile and get a sense for where price is in relation to yesterday's price action. All right, so we're going to go here and then drag that across to the close. And you can see we're very much inside the range of yesterday. Okay, so as long as we stay in the middle of the range, again, similar to what I've been saying, it's not an area that I would like to be a part of, right? I'd like to see maybe be a part of maybe something like the edge of the value. You can see here how nicely it respected the edge of value here and reacted away from it, or the upper end of value could offer us maybe an area for reversal in price. Let's take a look now at the what the various markets were able to do with ES here. Okay, we're going to start off with the Asia market. Asia, again, offering a very nice extension to the downside. I would say that Asia was, I think Asia also in the NASDAQ also offered us a nice extension, 250% extension. Very nice push, right? We got a push to the downside, a retest back to the 9 EMA, and down goes Fraser, right? Down goes Fraser to the 250% level. Again, offering us a nice extension here to the downside. Oftentimes, guys, once we break the initial balance range, the market moves into a sustained move, okay? Because it takes some effort to get price outside the range, balance to imbalance, okay? Now we're back to that area again. Is that going to entice sellers to come back into this market? Well, that would be an area that I would expect. Right now, we're not seeing that all that much, right? We got a little bit of a push to the downside, but that so far has been met with some buying, okay? Let's go ahead and see what London was able to do with all of this. I suspect it's to upside, but we'll take a look anyway. All right, so again, what Asia was able to do to the downside, London was able to do to the upside, right? We got a nice extension here to the 50% and ultimately to the 225% extension of this initial range. Okay, again, offering us kind of, again, a little bit of a cat and mouse game going on between the sessions. All right. Yeah. So yeah, you could have used the 200% extension from Asia to offer you maybe a mean reversion trade back to VWAP, right? So if you're more of a mean reversion or counter trend kind of trader, that would be reasonable. 200% would be the first signal for that, right? 200% would be a signal. And then from that point forward, maybe you look for some evidence that price is maybe looking to head the other direction. Okay. So right now, I cannot deny the fact that price does appear to be in some sort of bullish structure. We've broken some structure here to the upside, but I am leery. Okay. I'm leery of the fact that we are still inside this swing. Okay. Still inside the swing. So at any moment here, sellers could potentially step into this market and drive the price lower. Okay. We're still kind of working our way through this area, right? So if I again draw my little Fibonacci levels, and if I'm more bearish in this market, well, again, we're reacting away from the 61.8% extension. Again, if we can get some follow through on this, then below 90 MA, maybe there is a move to the downside. Otherwise, we need to continue to look for opportunities. I don't know if we're probably going to be looking for myself, and we'll be looking for something in the way of initial balance break in order to entertain a trade, right? But we do know that we have some news in the horizon in the next half hour or so. So I think we would all be better served in waiting for that news to kind of percolate through the markets, let the market participants digest that, and decide on which direction that they want to take the market. And then we, as the lazy lion, right, react to that. Okay. All right. So again, similar viewpoint. Again, if you didn't show me that I was looking at the Nasdaq, the ES looks very much like the Nasdaq at this moment in time. So again, I'm going to say neutral. I'm going to say neutral to bullish. Okay, as long as we stay above the 90 MA, I would say that my sentiment remains to the bullish side. But I do understand that I am in range. Okay, I can't expect this market to go to the moon. There is a limit to where this can go, and I would say that back to the highs of Tuesday seems to be a reasonable target should we continue. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Dow before we look at across all the markets here. So looking at the Dow again, they all seem to be looking very similar to me. Again, the Dow was looking a little bit stronger yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and draw my little triangle pattern here. So you can see here we're in some sort of consolidation pattern. We do see that we have some sellers, but that's not really translating so much into price, right? We're getting some kind of hammer-like candle up against the bottom end of this triangle pattern, indicating maybe there is some more upside to this move. Again, making this very simple, guys, right? If I'm looking at this from left to right, are we moving up or are we moving down? We're moving up, right? We're moving up. So market looks to be bullish, right? I understand we are in some sort of consolidation pattern, but you know, look as I traverse and look at candles, we continue to make higher highs and higher lows. So market continues to be somewhat bullish. All right, take a look at the 4-hour chart. We're going to go ahead and turn off our initial balance ranges here. All right, and get a sense of what the market is trying to accomplish. Again, we had our swing low, right? We got down to the end of this. We came back down again, retested the bottom end of this trend line, and now we're developing a bullish candle. So I don't know about you, this feels a little bit more bullish to me than any of the other markets, equity markets here. So I'm kind of drawing this channel here. So if we do indeed, I don't know if this is the first, second, third, as we get to the apex of this triangle pattern, there's going to be a move that happens here, whether it's to the upside or to the downside. I know the magnitude of the move. Okay, the magnitude of the move is going to be of this order here. Okay, so if I take the mouth of this triangle pattern, if I go right here, I know that the magnitude of the move is going to be of that order, right? Is it going to be to the downside or is it going to be to the upside? That I can't tell you. Right? But it's going to be rather significant. Okay. So right now, given the kind of bullish structure that we've been in, you know, I have to say maybe it's going to be to the upside. Okay. We're in bullish structure right now. So there is an expectation that we could move higher, but any sort of adverse news, right? We could get something that reverses to the other direction. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the 30-minute chart here. and see what the 30-minute chart has to say. We're going to go ahead and remove some of our drawings here. Just kind of clean slate here. So again, I think similar to the other markets here, I would say that again, I feel like the Dow showing a little bit more strength than the other equity markets. You see that we're a little bit more extended away from the 9 EMA than any of the other equity markets, at least based on what I can recall. Okay. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the fixed range volume profile here. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and start with the close here and right here. Okay. So we're still inside the range, okay, of value, right? Inside the value range, indicating that we are in some sort of consolidation environment at the moment. We're going to go ahead and take a look at initial balance and see what these various markets were able to do. Again, you can see even London, right? We got a nice extension from London, not just to the 200%, all the way up to maybe a 250%, maybe even 300% extension of the initial balance range. Looking at this from Asia's perspective, Asia, well, it looks like gave us the opposite look, similar to the other equities. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but this is almost worth, taking a nap in between and, coming online at about, I don't know, was this 1800? So that's probably around, let's see, this is probably the middle of the night here somewhere for the East Coast folks, but let's say around 9 p.m. All right. 9 p.m. right. Eastern. And then maybe you can participate in one of these moves to the downside. Otherwise, you can wake up at say 3 a.m. and take part in another move to the upside. So again, these moves are not light, okay, and they offer opportunity. But in any case, so right now, again, similar to the other markets, I'm going to have to say that we are in some sort of neutral to bullish environment. I would say maybe more bullish than neutral, right? Given the separation that we've gotten of price away from both our 9 EMA and our VWAP, right? So again, I think coming up to the point of control seems to be a conclusion. Maybe to the high of this initial balance range for Asia does not seem to be out of the question. I would say that 46,690, 46,700 will probably be an area where we get some sort of resistance, right? Some sort of sellers that maybe potentially step into this market. But right now, it does appear to be a bit bullish. Okay. So let's take one final pass through all the markets here, guys. Again, looking at the gold market. Again, gold market looks like we're showing a little bit of weakness here in the markets. That stands to reason, right? If the equities are showing strength, since gold is inversely correlated, it's not always, but whatever strength we see in the equities should translate to weakness in the gold, right? Strength in equities generally translates to weakness in gold. Okay. Another inversely correlated market to kind of maybe compare would be comparing dollar versus gold, right? That would be another. Put a channel. You got a nice trade and invalidation. Yeah. So yeah, I had my nice channel here to the upside, looking for an upside move. If we add our channel here, right? I think as Aslan is suggesting here, if we add our channel to here, right? We got to this extension, we got a break of the channel, and we end up getting into a very nice short trade, right? I don't know if that's the channel you're referring to, but those are the only two that I can see on this market. So in any case, as we head into this session, I'm going to go ahead and make sure that we're looking at this on the regular session here. I don't think we did that last time, but we are seeing some bearish price action at the moment in the gold. Okay. So would not be out of the realm of possibility, certainly, that we retest the 38.85 level before we see any sort of reversal in price. And if we break below that, watch out below. Okay. Watch out below, because that could get us down to some of these other levels down below here. Okay. 38.60, 38, maybe down to the point of control here at 38.75. Okay. Taking a look at the crude oil market. The crude oil market, as we head into the EIA, again, looks like maybe we are getting maybe some buyers are starting to nibble here. We got a reverse handle kind of hammer candle. I guess that's the long wick with little body here developing. So is that going to translate into maybe a double bottom here? Okay. And that could cause maybe price to maybe rally at least up to VWAP. Okay. That's not out of the realm of possibility before we continue any sort of trek to the downside. We are at an area of support, so that would not be out of the realm of possibility. I understand that we are still in some higher time frame structure to the downside, but I cannot deny that there's a possibility that we can get some reversals away from this 61.90, 62 level. Okay, that is a level that has been supportive in the past, and unless we can close below that level with some conviction, then we have to open up the possibility for price to rally from here. Okay, all right. Across all the equities, we'll take a look here. So NASDAQ, again, showing a little bit of bullish kind of price action here. We're above our 90 MA, above our VWAP, could provide us maybe a continuation move to the upside. I do understand that I'm inside some sort of bearish swing here. So this could easily be a location where we see price continue down. But my line in the sand that I'm going to use is the 90 MA and the VWAP to kind of, definitively tell me which direction they want to take this market, right? If we are bullish, it's going to remain above the 90 MA. If we are bearish, we're going to close below the 90 MA and the VWAP and head lower, okay? So right now, again, neutral to bullish is kind of what I'm looking at on the ES for the NASDAQ, sorry. For the ES, a similar kind of thing. Like I said, if I had closed my eyes and not even looked at the symbol I was looking at, I could even say that I'm looking at NASDAQ, okay? Similar kind of look and feel. I would say that maybe we are getting a little bit more selling pressure here than buying pressure, but we still remain above the 90 MA, above our VWAP. So again, range to bullish right now for me in the ES. And then ultimately the Dow I think was kind of showing the most strength. They had the most extension away from the 90 MA. Okay, we have more extension away from VWAP, more extension away from, but we are coming into an area where we could find some sellers. So while we are bullish, we have to understand that we are coming into some areas that could cause the market to falter here. So again, neutral to bullish at the moment. But I do understand that this 46, maybe 680 level, maybe even earlier, could cause some participants to kind of step into this market to the downside. Okay. All right. That was a mouthful. Are my quotes delayed? Oh, it looks like they are. Yeah, so sorry about that, guys. So I need to sign into my portal here. We'll do that, but hopefully that doesn't translate too much into the way we've interpreted the markets to date. But yeah, it looks like I'm not logged into my portal. We'll do that. Thank you for that, Blue Sky. I apologize for that. I didn't realize that where I was looking at delayed data here, but I don't think it's going to change too much my view of the market at the moment. Okay. Yeah, only a 15-minute delay. So I think the view, as long as we're above the 90 MA and above VWAP, I would say that my view of the market is still on the bullish side. Yeah. Before I realize it, I don't know why, but I don't know why it just doesn't automatically. Oh, I know why. Every time there's a new month, I need to reconfirm that I want to have a connection with TradingView. So I need to go back to my trading platform and back to TopStep and get them to accept the fact that I'm doing this all on the TradingView. I get that reset every time there's a new month. So now I know exactly what happened here. Okay. So thank you for alerting me, Blue Skies, of that. That would have been interesting to have taken trades, but I think I probably would have noticed that. In any case, guys, I think that's what I have for you guys today. Again, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell. Well, TopStep X has a VAB. I mean, TopStep X. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening, VAB, because I think they're trying to create a platform for themselves. and they're using TradingView as the basis for that platform, right? Right? They're using TradingView as the basis. They're using libraries from TradingView to create that platform, right? So I don't think it seems unlikely to me that they would go down that path. Okay, I don't know for sure. Okay, but as long as they allow you to trade with TradingView, but I mean, you can certainly Fab, you can certainly put in that suggestion. Okay, so guys, if you haven't already, I'd encourage you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, smash that notification bell, alert yourself when I do become available. Okay, and as I close every session, trade well, trade safe, trade like a pro, be a market trader. Okay. Have an excellent day trading, guys, and we'll talk again soon. Okay. You too, Simon.